Alright, welcome back to Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered Edition. And we're going to start out strong here by reading an almanac. Poor Richard's Almanac, 1736, Volume 2. 5 Monday, July hath 31 days. Who can charge Ebrio with a thirst of wealth? See, he consumes his money, time, and health in drunken frolics, which will all confound, neglects his farm, forgets to till his ground. His stock grows less that might be kept with ease, in naught but guts and debt he finds increase. In town reels as if he'd shove down each wall. Yet walls must stand, poor soul, or he must fall. None preaches better than the aunt, and she says nothing. The absent are never without fault, nor the present without excuse. Gifts burst rocks, if wind blows on you through a hole. Make your will and take care of your soul. The rotten apple spoils his companion. For Monday, August hath 31 days. The tongue was once a servant of the heart, and what it gave she freely did impart. But how hypocrisy is grown so strong, the heart's become a servant of the tongue. Virtue we praise, but practice not her good. Athenian-like, we act not what we know. As many men do talk of Robin Hood, who never did shoot arrow in his bow. Don't throw stones at your neighbor if your own windows are glass. The excellency of hogs is fatness, of men virtue. Good wives and good plantations are made by good husbands. He that sells upon trust loses many friends and always wants money. Pox take you is no curse to some people. 7 Monday, September hath 30 days. Brisk cap, thou'st little judgment in thy head, more than to dress thee, drink, and go to bed. Yet thou shalt have the wall, and the way lead, since logic wills that simple things proceed. Walking and meeting one not long ago, I asked who 'twas. He said he did not know. I said, I know thee. So said he, I you. But he that knows himself I never knew. Lovers, travelers, and poets will give money to be heard. He that speaks much is that much mistaken. Creditors have better memories than debtors. Forewarned, forearmed, unless in the case of cuckolds, who are often forearmed before warned. 8 Monday, October hath 31 days. Whimsical Will once fancied he was ill. The doctor called, who thus examined Will. How is your appetite? Oh, As to that, I eat right healthy. You see, I'm fat. How is your sleep o' nights? 'Tis sound and good. I eat, drink, sleep, as well as e'er I could. Well, says the doctor, clapping on his hat, I'll give you something, shall remove all that. 3 things are men most likely to be cheated in: a horse, a wig, and a wife. He that lives well is learned enough. Poverty, poetry, and new titles of honor make men ridiculous. He that scatters thorns, let him not go barefoot. There's none deceived but he that trusts. 11 Monday, November hath 30 days. When you are sick, what you like best is to be chosen for a medicine in the first place. What experience tells you is best to be chosen in the second place? What reason, i.e. theory, says is best is to be chosen in the last place. But if you can get doctor inclination, doctor experience, and doctor reason to hold a consultation together, they will give you the best advice that can be given. God heals, and the doctor takes the fee. If you desire many things will seem but a few. Mary's mouth costs her nothing, for she never opens it but at others' expense. Receive before you write, but write before you pay. I saw few die of hunger, of eating 100,000. 10 Monday, December hath 31 days. Soul nearer the earth in winter than in summer, 15,046 miles. His loans and short appearance making winter cold. Luna nearer in her perigyon than apogyon, 69,512. Saturn nearer, 49,868 miles. Jupiter nearer, 38,613 miles. Mars nearer, 80,608 miles. Venus nearer, 6,209 miles. Mercury nearer, 181,427 miles, and yet Mercury is never distant from the Soul a whole sign, nor Venus above 2. You'll never find a sextile Sol Mercury, nor a quartile Sol Venus. Maids of America, who gave you bad teeth, and hot soupings and frozen apples, marry your daughter and eat fresh fish betimes. If God blesses a man, his bitch brings forth pigs. He that would live in peace and at ease must not speak all he knows, nor judge all he sees. Adieu. In my last year's almanac, I mentioned that the visible eclipses of this year, 1736, portended some great and surprising events relating to these northern colonies, of which I proposed this year to speak at large, but as those events are not to happen immediately this year, I choose rather, upon second thought, to defer farther mention of them till the publication of my almanac for that year in which they are to happen. However, that the reader may not be entirely disappointed, here follow, for his present amusement, a few enigmatical prophecies, which they that do not understand cannot well explain. 1. Before the middle of this year, a wind at north-east will arise, during which the water of the sea and rivers will be in such a manner raised that great part of the towns of Boston, Newport, New York, Philadelphia, the lowlands of Maryland and Virginia, and the town of Charleston in South Carolina will be under water. Happy will it be for the sugar and salt standing in the cellars of those places, if there be tight roofs and ceilings overhead. Otherwise, without being a conjurer, a man may easily foretell that such commodities will receive damage. 2. About the middle of the year, great numbers of vessels fully laden will be taken out of the port aforesaid by a power with which we are not now at war, and whose forces shall not be descried or seen, either coming or going, but in the end this may not be disadvantageous to those places. 3. However, not long after, a visible army of 20,000 musketeers will land, some in Virginia and Maryland, and some in the lower counties on both sides of Delaware, who will overrun the country and solely annoy the inhabitants. But the air in this climate will agree with them so ill toward winter that they will die in the beginning of cold weather like rotten sheep, and by Christmas the inhabitants will get the better of them. Note in my next almanac these enigmatical prophecies will be explained. R.S. Ugh, man, those things are a lot. Since when do we read a lot during video games? Well, unfortunately, we kept collecting, and we got our last almanac page, I believe, in Boston here, which means that we have one more to read. And this one would be Poor Richard's Almanac, 1736, Volume 1. Loving readers, your kind acceptance of my former labors has encouraged me to continue writing, though the general approbation you have been so good as to favor me with has excited the envy of some, and drawn upon me the malice of others. These ill-willers of mine, despite at the great reputation I gained by exactly predicting another man's death, have endeavored to deprive me of it all at once in the most effectual manner, by reporting that I myself was never alive. They say, in short, that there is no such a man as I am, and have spread this notion so thoroughly in the country that I have been frequently told it to my face by those that don't know me. This is not civil treatment, to endeavor to deprive me of my very being, and reduce me to a non-entity in the opinion of the public. But so long as I know myself to walk about, eat, drink, and sleep, I am satisfied that there is really such a man as I am. However, they may say to the contrary, and the world may be satisfied likewise. For if there was no such man as I am, how is it possible I should appear publicly to hundreds of people, as I have done for several years past in print? I need not, indeed, have taken any notice of so idle a report, if it had not been for the sake of my printer, to whom my enemies are pleased to ascribe my productions, and who, it seems, is as unwillingly to father my offspring as I am to lose the credit of it. Therefore, to clear him entirely, as well as to vindicate my own honor, I make this public and serious declaration, which I desire may be believed, to wit, that what I have written heretofore and do now write neither was nor is written by any other man or men, person or persons whatsoever. Those who are not satisfied with this must needs be very unreasonable. My performance for this year follows. It submits itself, kind reader, to thy censure, but hopes for thy candor to forgive its faults. It devotes itself entirely to thy service, and will serve thee faithfully, and if it has the good fortune to please its master, its gratification enough for the labor of poor R. Saunders. Presumptuous man, the reason wouldst thou find, why formed so weak, so little, and so blind. First, if thou canst the harder reason guess, why formed no weaker, blinder, and no less. Ask of thy mother earth, why oats are made, taller or stronger than the weeds they shade. Or ask of yonder argent fields above, why Jove's satellites are less than Jove. 11 Monday, January hath 31 days. Some have learnt many tricks of sly evasion. Instead of truth they use evocation, and eke it out with mental reservation, which to good men is an abomination. Our smith of late most wonderfully swore that whilst be breathed he would drink no more. But since I know his meaning, for I think he meant he would not breathe whilst he did drink. He is no clown that drives the plough, but he that doth clownish things. If you know how to spend less than you get, you have the philosopher's stone. The good pay master is lord of another man's purse. Fish and visitors smell in 3 days. 12 Monday, February hath 29 days. Sam's wife provoked him once, he broke her crown. The surgeon's bill amounted to £5. This blow, she brags, has cost my husband dear. He'll ne'er strike more. Sam chanced to overhear. Therefore, before his wife the bill he pays, and to the surgeon in her hearing says, Doctor, you charge £5. Herein take 10. My wife may chance to want your help again. He that has neither fools nor beggars among his kindred is the son of Thundergust. Diligence is the mother of good luck. Do not do that which you would not have known. 1 Monday, March hath 31 days. What desired knowledge, fame, or pelf, not one will change his neighbor with himself. The learned are happy nature to explore. The fool is happy that he knows no more. The rich are happy in the plenty given. The poor contents him with the care of heaven. Thus does some comfort every state attend, and prides bestowed on all a common friend. Never praise your cider or horse or bedfellow. Wealth is not his that has it, but his that enjoys it. 'Tis easy to see, hard to foresee. In a discreet man's mouth, a public thing is private. 2nd Monday, April hath 30 days. By naught is man from beast distinguished, more than by knowledge in his learned head. Then youth improve thy time, but cautious see that what thou learn'st somehow useful be. Each day improving, Solon waxed old, for time he knew was better far than gold. Fortune might give him gold which would decay, but fortune cannot give him yesterday. Let thy maid-servant be faithful, strong, and homely. Keep flax from fire, youth from gaming. Bargaining has neither friends nor relations. Admiration is the daughter of ignorance. There's more old drunkards than old doctors. 3 Monday, May hath 31 days. Lalus, who loves to hear himself discourse, keeps talking still as if he frantic were, and though himself might know where hear a worse, yet he no other but himself will hear. Stop not his mouth if he be troublesome, but stop his ear, and then the man is dumb. Here comes courage that seized the lion absent, and run away from the present mouse. He that takes a wife takes care, nor eye in a letter, nor hand in a purse, nor ear in the secret of another. He that buys by the penny maintains not only himself, but other people. For Monday, June hath 30 days. Things that are bitter, bitterer than gall, physicians say are always physical. Now women's tongues, if into powder beaten, may a potion or a pill be eaten. And as there's naught more bitter, I do muse, that women's tongues in physic they ne'er use. Myself and others who lead restless lives would spare that bitter member of our wives. He that can have patience can have what he will. Now I have a sheep and a cow. Everybody bids me good morrow. God helps them that helps themselves. Why does the blind man's wife paint herself? Alright, so I would say that I understand about half of what's being said in the almanacs. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less on others, but... And there's another page. But yeah, like all in all, I don't understand everything in there. There's quite a bit that I do understand. Oops, sorry about that. Started that little jump scare. Crap. There's another one. Now we have Poor Richard's Almanac 1733, Volume 2, 5 Monday. July hath 31 days. Even while the reaper fills his greedy hands and binds the golden sheafs in brittle bands, oft have I seen a sudden storm arise from all the warring winds. Oh, so much reading of this type of stuff that sweep the skies, and oft whole sheets descend of slucky rain, sucked by the spongy clouds from off the main. The lofty skies at once come pouring down, the promised crop and the golden labors drowned. Many estates are spent in the getting, since woman for tea forsook spinning and knitting. He that lies down with dogs shall rise up with fleas. A fat kitchen, a lean will. Distrust and caution are the parents of security. Tongue double brings trouble. 6 Monday, August hath 31 days. For us through 12 bright signs Apollo guides, the year and earth in several climes divides. 5 griddles bind the skies, the torrid zone glows with the passing and repassing sun. Far on the right and left, the extremes of heaven to frost and nose and bitter blasts are given betwixt the midst, and these the god assigned two habitable feats for humankind. Take counsel in wine, but resolve afterwards in water. He that drinks fast pays slow. Great famine when wolves eat wolves. A good wife lost is God's just lost. A taut horse, a woman to teach, and teachers practicing what they preach. He is ill-clothed who is bare of virtue. 7 Monday, September hath 30 days. Death is a fisherman. The world we see, his fish pond is, and we the fishes be. His net some general sickness, however, he is not so kind as other fishers be. For if they take one of the smaller fry, they throw him in again, he shall not die. But death is sure to kill all he can get, and all is fish with him that comes to net. The heart of a fool is in his mouth, but the mouth of a wife's man is in his heart. Men and melons are hard to know. He's the best physician that knows the worthlessness of the most medicines. Beware of meat twice boiled and an old for reconciled. A fine genius in his own country is like gold in the mine. There is no little enemy. 8 Monday, October hath 31 days. Time was my spouse, and I could not agree, striving about superiority. The text which saith that man and wife are one was the chief argument we stood upon. She held that I both one woman should become. I held they should be man and both but one. Thus we contended daily, but the strife could not be ended till both were one wife. He has lost his boots, but saved his spurs. Too old man has given all to his son, O fool. To undress thyself before thou art going to bed, cheese and salt meat should be sparingly eat. Doors and walls are fool's paper, annoyant and a villain, and he'll stab you. Stab him, and he'll anoint you. Keep your mouth wet, feet dry. 9 Monday, November hath 30 days. My neighbor H. Henry, maybe, by his pleasing tongue hath won a girl that's rich, wise, fair, and young. The match, he saith, is half concluded. He indeed is wondrous willing, but not she. And reason good, for he has run through almost, the story of the prodigal. Yet swears he never with the hogs did dine. That's true, for none would trust him with their swine. Where bread is wanting, all's to be sold. There is neither honor nor gain got in dealing with a villain. The fool hath made a vow, I guess, never to let the fire have peace. Snowy winter, a plentiful harvest, nothing more like a fool than a drunken man. 10 Monday, December hath 31 days. God works wonders now and then. Behold, a lawyer, an honest man. He that lives carnally won't live externally. Innocence is its own defense. Time eateth all things, could old poets say. The times are changed, our times drink all away. Never mind it, she'll be sober after the holidays. I have a feeling that this was more of a, you go to the spot that you want to read and read it, but at the same time, I mean, there wasn't any internet, there's nothing, so chances are people probably did read the entire thing. I don't know. I mean, it seems interesting enough. It's got poems, it's got the calendar, weather, it has a little bit of news in there, predictions. Oddly enough, some of them are true. But, yeah. It is interesting. It's just a long read. At this point, we make our way out to the frontier to do some collecting. But we find a citizen in trouble. We should probably help them out.
You've been warned! You asked for it!
What happened?
They demanded we give our entire yield to the crown. Warren refused. They killed our animals, salted our earth, then dragged us out. You saw what followed. I'm afraid we have nothing to give you in thanks, stranger. We have nothing left.
Perhaps there is something you could do instead.
Anything.
I live in a small community not far from here. The soil is rich. The people I live with would have need of fresh vegetables, wheat, or corn. If you were to rebuild your farm, you may prosper.
What kindness is this? We'll certainly come see. Thank you.
Growing our little community. It's pretty cool. Little farm going on. They seem like good people, so they're more than welcome. Next we meet Pete of the Boston Brawlers.
Here for a scrap.
And he wants to scrap, but his buddies have joined in, so that's
Swing at me some more.
something.
Won't get far hitting me like that. Won't get far hitting me like that. You want a chance? You gotta hit me. You want a chance? You gotta hit me. Come on, swing at me some more. Right on my arse.
Well, that takes care of that quest. Side quest. Like, I just take everything? Okay, well, he left $11, I guess, so whatever. Alright, let's move onward. Shortly after we get done brawling, we wander through the forest, going towards this chest here. But, we actually end up approaching a fort. And we can deal with that. Wandering through the town we just synchronized with, we find Buckman's Tavern, or Buckman Tavern, rather. The night before the battle at Lexington, the town militia met on the Lexington Common to wait for British troops. They eventually moved into this tavern, which was a popular stopping place after training exercises. Militia members were given free beer to encourage them to show up, because freedom fighters are at their sharpest and best after 6 pints and a packet of nuts. Just before dawn, the soldiers went back onto the common to meet the British forces. No one knows who fired first, but some accounts say it came from the corner of a house to the right of the church, namely Buckman Tavern. Classic pub fight. And it looks like we've missed a couple of entries here. Looks like Duncan Little we missed. He was born in 1730. Little was originally from Ireland, the youngest son of a large family, which is confusing, seeing as they were the Little family. He entered the priesthood at a young age and was sent to Africa as a missionary in 1756. Little spent several years in Africa, but in 1760 he returned to Ireland, leaving the priesthood entirely. I'd tell you why, but it seems that information is locked behind a wall at the Vatican. And I'm not hacking into their records today, as they seem to have changed their password from "We love Pope" again. The next information I have about him is as a passenger on a ship to Boston in 1763. From his letter, it seems his family more or less drove him away over his split with the Catholic Church, blood being thicker than water and all that. Little settled in Boston's North End, where he gained a reputation as a good mediator. Fair and less expensive than the local pub, he was helping people to solve their problems, generally by talking them down from a fight, which seems to be all that really happened in Boston in those days. And by those days, I mean anything up to the present day. Little was the first person people called when there was a scuffle, and his usual table at the King's Horse Tavern was known locally as Little's Court, a moniker the British cracked down on in 1770 because we like to ruin everyone's fun. Alright, so we're done with people, but I believe we missed one in locations. Hopefully not more than one. Under Boston, let's see what we have. Ooh, Mill Pond. Yeah, we definitely missed this one. This is the site of Boston's first, and for a good while, only flour mill. The mill owners closed this pond off from the Charles River, leaving only a small stream that led to the ocean. Twice a day, the tides in Boston Harbor would fill the stream, powering the mill. Of course, closing the pond off also made it stagnant, since water was used as a dumping ground for sewage, garbage, and dead animals. It was quite dirty and frankly stank. Round the turn of the century, the city decided that something needed to be done. Rather than reopen the causeway and clean out the pond, developers decided they could make room for houses, and also more money, by filling it in with land taken from the top of Beacon Hill. So that's exactly what they did, building homes on sewage since the turn of the century. What a wonderful slogan that would have made. While doing this viewpoint, we noticed a small camp nearby. We can climb down the tree and head toward it.
He was 8 months in the Kentucky frontier trapping and skinning elk. Well along my third bale when they came upon us. No less than a dozen Shawnee hunters had us surrounded at the point of musket and arrow. My bush partner froze up stiff. The fear chilled me the same, but I managed to muster what little Shawnee I was knowing. The leader spoke too quick, but I gathered we was poaching, having crossed into their territory a month or so hence. Their musket barrels stared us down, the heads of their arrows smiling sharp at our backs. I bumbled a proposition and busted Shawnee. Our full piece, my 3 bales, and my partner's 2 less a half, in exchange for us quitting the Shawnee bush on our own legs. Leader nods to his boys. They load up our take and start back into the trees. The honcho stays a spell longer, just staring right through us with his two black eyes. And then he was gone. We picked up, set back east the way we came. Months of profit lost, but our own hides intact. Never saw the Shawnee again, but I know they was following us. I could feel their eyes on our backs, clear to North Carolina.
So it says here we gotta look for clues here at the camp. I don't really see much. Maybe we can head up to this nearby viewpoint and get a look there. Heading up, we see it's a lighthouse, and we get a database entry. Boston Light. This was the first lighthouse in North America, built to help guide ships into Boston Harbor at night. Of course, this made it a prime target for the revolutionaries during the siege of Boston. They attacked and burned the building. When the British began to repair it, they returned and burned it again. Of course, the British did them one better when they left Boston Harbor in 1776. They blew up the entire lighthouse behind them. It was a very confusing time to be a lighthouse fan. Do I like them? Don't I like them? I felt the same way about light jazz. A new lighthouse was built in 1783, so it persists and survives despite all efforts to destroy it, much like light jazz. I don't know how I feel about Sean's little funny comments. Some of them aren't that great. Some of them are pretty good. Oh, we missed something. Groups. Okay. Frontiersmen. Daniel Boone was an excellent explorer and hunter with a knack for talking himself out of trouble. I imagine he and his friends will have some fascinating stories to tell. I wouldn't mind hearing them from the primary source myself. Later, authors were known for adding ridiculous embellishments, like the one about Boone killing a bear with his bare hands, or swinging through the forest on vines, or the one where he modified a silver sports car to travel back in time and ended up kissing his mum. Though that one might have been something else. Boone and his friends travel all over the frontier, so they'll be able to tell you if there's any news you shouldn't know about. And with all of that, we actually are going to end the episode, being that it's approaching an hour. I'd like to thank anybody for watching if you made it this far. And please do comment. I'd love to hear it. Have a nice conversation with the comment section. Give her a like or a thumbs down if you didn't like. And tell me what I could do if you wanted to see something specific. Just anything. And again, thanks for watching. Have a good one. And goodbye.